What makes penguins lose their cool? What's a lion cub's worst nightmare? And why do these vegetarians risk death? Get to grips with aggression in raw nature. Catching prey, defending young, and protecting yourself all require tough tactics. In the wild, aggression is often the only option. When animals are pushed to the edge, they come back fighting. Every year, 80,000 elephant seals head for the beaches of Northern California to calve and mate. Their name comes from the bull's trunk-like nose. It's a peaceful family scene. So how does this turn into this? We normally see seals as gentle creatures, but there are aggressive undercurrents at work. This male's in charge of a dozen females. He's a beach master, weighing more than a car, but still amazingly agile when seeing off rivals. The females are half his size, but dominating them can be difficult when his back's turned. Young bulls without their own harem are always on the lookout for a sneaky mating. The beachmaster bellows his dominance. He's not to be messed with. The offending male won't stand down. It's time to charge, no matter who's in the way. %10 of pups are killed like this every year. The arena clear, the bulls are on a collision course. It's a blubber-slamming contest of almighty proportions. Eventually, the weaker or less brave of the pair backs down. Cowardice makes sense when wounds can prove deadly. This steamroller approach spills over into courtship. The beachmaster only has 2 months on land to pair with all his females. There's a violent urgency about the need to mate. The tide of aggression only subsides when breeding is over. Then it's time to return to the sea. When fights are about more than sex, aggression can be year-round. In the African bush, trails to watering holes are often conflict zones. They're forged by hippos on their way to graze, but become highways for many other animals. Buffaloes are no gentle cows. They've got mean tempers. Their horns cause fatal injuries, so most animals give them a wide berth. Not so hippos. This is 2 tons of unforgiving vegetarian. Hippos leave the water to bask or feed, but they never go far. Too much sun cracks their sensitive skin. They slip back into the water to cool down. Like elephant seals, this family group has lots of females and 1 dominant male. Dung spraying is the boss's way of saying he's in charge. Bachelor males are only tolerated if they bow to his authority. But as water levels drop, tensions run high. Space is at a premium. Threats are common currency. Males' lower teeth can be almost a meter long. Confrontations are highly ritualized. The pair works out who's biggest by opening their mouths. Those with lesser tusks soon back down. Old bulls carry extensive scars from past battles. The canines inflict deep gashes through the thick hide and into the flesh. But an army of birds is on call to clean up the wounds. And healing is usually swift. As pools dry up, the hippos squeeze into the rivers. Neighbors jostle for space. Under the hot sun, aggression hits boiling point. This is the most dangerous time of the year. Skirmishes become fights to the death. Losers are only fit for scavengers. leaving more room for other hippos to cool their bodies, if not their tempers. These Indian blackbuck have no respite from the sun. Temperatures have soared to almost 50 degrees, so why are these antelope enduring the midday heat? The sensible thing would be to find shade. At the beginning of the breeding season, males head to prime feeding areas. Each stakes his claim over a tiny patch of real estate. Location is vital. They use smell to draw the boundaries. A pile of dung establishes the center of the plot. A scent trail marks its edge. They have to be quick. The does are hot on their heels. They'll only mate with males who have taken the best spots. Females advertise their health with giant leaps. It's easy for a male to get distracted, but they must watch out for trespassers. A hoof out of line is a grave offense. The resident male aggressively wipes his scent on the ground. If that deterrent fails, there's backup. Curved antlers can easily disembowel a rival. Fighting's best avoided, but sometimes it's the only option. Horns lock as rivals try to push each other over the invisible line. A wrong move, and they could both end up impaled. Eventually, one or the other will back down, but neither will head for the shade. If they leave their hard-won ground, it will instantly be taken over, so they must stay put, even if this means dying from dehydration. The most hotly disputed territories are in the middle. Only the very fittest males can defend them. They're the bucks the females want, and they fend off the low-quality bachelors to get to them. Does are no pushover once they've chosen their mate. Courtship can last for hours. Around them, the circus of aggression and conquest goes on well into the sunset. Female blackbuck expect a lot from their men, but penguins are even more demanding. These violent fights are for the benefit of the women. But there are no females around to witness these macho displays, so why bother? This stretch of the Patagonian coast is the summer retreat for jackass penguins. The males arrive on the beach first and quickly head for last year's nest sites. If this bachelor doesn't find a burrow soon, he'll have no hope of attracting a mate. Everyone wants a choice spot, so vicious battles soon erupt. Our bachelor has won the keys to a spacious pad. The loser must search elsewhere. But there's a problem. This is not the empty nest that he thought. Someone was asleep inside. The owner's eviction is swift and bloody. The ousted male is badly wounded and homeless. Our bachelor is victorious. He's injured, but he has his prize. Just in time. The females surf in and courtship begins immediately. The males with the best homes snap up the best females, settle down and raise a family. They may be affectionate to one another, but the pair is as aggressive as ever to their neighbors. A harsh landscape and an overcrowded colony means the family shelter is well worth fighting for. Who would have thought these charming-looking birds had such a dark side? Unforgiving environments often bring out the worst behavior. In the arid deserts of North America, even the plants are aggressive. And animals that make their home here need tough tactics to survive. Food is scarce, so nobody's keen on competition. This tortoise is no exception. He leads a lonely desert life, but that's how he likes it. A female on his patch may be tolerated, but he has no time for another male sharing his food. Fighting talk comes in the form of hissing and grunting. With all that heavy armour, you'd think tortoises couldn't do much damage to one another. And certainly, head nodding won't draw blood, even if it does go on for an hour. After all the bobbing, it's time to bring in a secret weapon. A special horn at the front of the shell. This cunning flicking device is designed to cause maximum upset. The horn is longer in males and often upturned. The trick's aiming it right under the shell and twisting to the side. The successful tortoise can flip his opponent clean off his feet. The loser risks a terrible fate. If he can't right himself, he'll perish in the sun. If the heat doesn't get him, then there are plenty of predators on the lookout for an easy meal. By day and by night. In the Arizona desert, the most aggressive animals take the night shift. They may be small, but they pack a big punch. Tarantulas are notorious hunters, well known for attacking animals much larger than themselves. Tiny rodents should be quaking in their boots. But this is no ordinary mouse. Caring parents and a peaceful, gentle family. Until the killer instinct strikes. Unlike most mice, the grasshopper mouse mainly eats meat. This father is off to find more food. He won't be scavenging. He'll be hunting. A burst of speed and strength disables the centipede in seconds. Long claws secure the victim. Sharp teeth pierce it. This is one very brave mouse. It likes to sniff out danger and meet it head-on. Even if its adversary comes heavily armed. The scorpion has the height advantage, but that's no deterrent to the mighty mouse. It all happens so fast. So how does this little rodent avoid getting stung? Step 1 is a single bound. It lands directly behind the tail, a safe zone the sting can't reach. Step 2, a disarming bite to the offensive weapon. Once the scorpion's made safe, the killer uses his standard technique. A frenzied savaging. The reason the grasshopper mouse is so plucky may be down to its weight. It's twice as heavy as you'd expect for its size. With all that muscle and a reckless desire to kill, even tarantulas need to watch their step. This fierce little mouse isn't the only creature that gets aggressive over food. Bully boy tactics in the wild don't come much meaner than this. The northern shores of Scandinavia, home to a very violent seabird. This skua is returning to its nest, but it's not much of a nursery. Its chicks woefully exposed in the bare grass. Danger is afoot. Reindeer won't eat the young skuas, but are careless where they tread. The baby's in peril. Time for action. The parents work as a team, relentlessly harassing the deer until they leave the area. The birds are vicious bullies, but they do have a reason. They're defending their precious young. Skuas are just as aggressive when they're on the offensive, as other birds know all too well. This gannet is returning from a successful day's fishing off the north coast of Scotland. It has a belly full of fish for its chicks. But first, it must run the gauntlet. Great skuas don't need to bother with fishing. They prefer piracy. The muggers gang up and close in. As the gannet tires, the skuas keep pushing. Eventually, the victim is so desperate to escape that it regurgitates its food. There's worse behavior to come. Whilst the skuas wait for more fishermen to return home, they make the most of their neighbour's absence. The muggers become simple thieves and steal eggs straight out of the kittiwakes' nests. The killing sprees aren't limited to the new generation. The parents' own lives are at risk. Grabbing it by the wing, the great skua drags the hapless victim into the sea to drown. It plucks at the kittiwake's flesh while still in its final death throes. The waterlogged corpse is too heavy to drag to land, so the skua dines out on the waves. Mugging, kidnap, and finally murder. The birds stop at nothing to get what they want. These pirates use aggression to rule sky and sea. Our next animal fights a land-based terror campaign. Honey badgers have an awesome reputation. For their size, they're thought to be Africa's most fearless and aggressive mammal. They share their arid home with another tenacious predator. Monitor lizards devour anything they can get hold of. They're particularly keen on eggs. Even if those eggs belong to a mother crocodile. But digging around in burrows can unearth some nasty surprises. This honey badger has had a rude awakening. Size-wise, the monitors are a match for it. Yet in a single move, the badger has control of the situation. Disabling the lizard with its devastating jaws. Not content with wreaking havoc during the day, the badger pairs up for an evening of intimidation and thuggery. Honey badgers will eat anything, from tiny insect grubs to meter-long crocodiles. Their keen sense of smell leads them to animals, even when they're hidden. They dig up to 50 holes in a single night. This jackal is also foraging. He has a young family to feed, and although the pups have their mother to protect them, he never travels far. The badgers have picked up their scent. The father attempts to fend them off. The mother makes a desperate bid to move the pups to safety. Her mate keeps up the outer defense. Eventually, his tenacity pays off. The thugs have met their match. A double effort from the adults has kept the pups safe. But many animals don't have the luxury of two parents. Threats to young bring out the aggressive streak in the most harmless-looking animals. The African savanna is fraught with danger. Especially for a newborn calf. Unlike jackals, wildebeest are single parents, so it's up to the mothers to fight for their young. Females group together in a sisterhood, deserted by the fathers who have other things on their minds. The rutting season isn't for another month, but the bulls are already practicing their moves. They've no interest in the predators that are lining up to eat their children. For the mothers, it's a time of intense stress. The smell of blood is drawing in the crowds. Hyenas are the main threat. This isolated individual tries desperately to defend her new arrival. Attacked from all sides, she fights a losing battle. The hyenas will torment her until she's too weak to resist. It seems an impossible place to rear young, with predators waiting on all sides. Mothers who stick together present a united front. This pack of wild dogs is determined, but stands little chance against a pair of angry females. At last, the dogs depart to find an easier meal. The aggressive defense pays off. The African plains are perilous enough, without having to face trouble from your own kind. This pride of lionesses and their cubs is headed by a lone male. The females do most of the hunting, so cubs are often left hidden whilst their mothers are away. But when aggression's within the family, hiding won't help. While the females concentrate on food, the male has a different agenda. So why would the head of the family kill his own children? The answer is that he hasn't. This male has only just taken over the pride. So these cubs aren't his flesh and blood. It seems barbaric, but he must kill them if he's to father his own young. Without babies to raise, the lionesses will come into season more quickly. And only once they are pregnant with his children can he truly secure his position. He may have control of the pride, but he can't drop his guard. Young bachelor males are never far away. And what they lack in experience, they make up for in numbers. The old male sees the young pretenders off without too much trouble. But there's a further onslaught to come. This bachelor has teamed up with his brother. Once they cross into the ruling lion's territory, confrontation is inevitable. Since no one backs down, fur quickly flies. The king holds on to his crown. But all three go away badly injured. The brothers may not have won the battle today, but they'll be back when they're older and stronger. Our lion has his own cubs now. Though if they're to survive, the king must reign until they're old enough to fend for themselves. We've seen that aggression in the animal world is instinctive, a matter of life or death. But surely intelligent creatures can deal with situations in a non-violent way. This male chimp is furious. He's a danger to anyone he encounters. But why should such a clever animal be so reckless? It's really not so surprising. Chimps are very like humans. They have their own personalities and mood swings. This chimp is a bad-tempered, aggressive bully. He makes the rest of the troop nervous. They turn tail when they see him coming, and they can't avoid him because he's their leader. When this tyrant throws a tantrum, the others have little choice but to fall into line. The alternative isn't pretty. This grimace isn't a smile, it's fear. Anger has put the bully in power, and it's anger that keeps him there. But it doesn't have to be like this. Chimps can live in harmonious family groups. Body language builds trust, and vocal reprimands show who's boss without a physical fight. So how does the dominant male react to this situation? Another male is chatting up one of his females. The boss sees red, and a violent beating follows. Living with a tyrant can have terrible consequences. But the bully won't be in charge forever. Unfortunately, he's the exception. The next leader could well be a pacifist who rules with intelligence rather than physical aggression. There are many reasons to get aggressive in the wild. The need to eat. The need to protect your family. Or the need to start a new one. When push comes to shove, you can't escape aggression in raw nature.